We're going to go over a ton of different stories, so stick around. We're talking about Russia, China, Taiwan, NK, and everything else that is happening all at once. We'll be right back right after this. Remember, nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anyone else on the show, including our mods. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. What is going on? My name is Adam, a.k.a. Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. So we have a ton of stuff to go over, so get cozy, get your popcorn, get a second device. You can actually follow along. This show is interactive. Not only can we might be asking you questions here that you can answer, and along with everybody else, but you can also follow along on our website. In fact, if you go there, you will see that all of the articles, all of the tweets, all of the documents that we show you here today, including the FAA document that we just talked about on our other video, are all going to be on the website. Go to marfooglenews.com. You can easily navigate it by looking for the thumbnail of today's show. This is not a game. Massive movement. And when you see that, you click on it and you will see everything is there. We have a bibliography of every one of our sources, so you know exactly where you are getting your stories from. Now, there's also going to be Too Hot for TV down at the bottom. All of that is basically stuff that we cannot cover here, or we do not cover on purpose there, because it is a lot of stuff that is either biased or one way or the other. Again, we want you to watch those and see those news articles and be able to be a judge for yourself. If you do want to support us on the right side, there is all of our affiliates. If you see a product during the show that you want to end up getting, and all of those would help. Small commission of that goes to us, and you get a discount on top. There's not one product that we have that doesn't actually end up cheaper for the people buying it, and it helps the channel. So thank you guys in advance, and thank you for everybody that has supported us prior. If you actually ask anybody about any of those, they'll tell you they're all great companies, and they all, we believe, might either save a life or make a life better. Let's bring in Dex. Dex is my co-host / he normally does the phones. Today we're going to be doing a kind of a blitz style on all of this news because we just have so much of it. Dex, how are you doing today, and what's going on with you?
Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam. I'm doing just fine.
So obviously we have a lot to go over. I'll get right into it. We, of course, have some soft stuff real quick, and then we'll get into the hard downed, crazy stuff here. Contacting alien life forms in the universe could invite them to, quote, rule Earth. It says NASA's new James Webb Space Telescope, or JWST, will allow scientists to look even farther and deeper into space. But if we find alien life and attempt to make contact, it could have dire consequences. So one thing that this is now all over the place. Every single mainstream media has now been pushing the fact that we might run into alien life. It's like it's constantly bombarded into the back of our heads that this is now not sci-fi, that this is a possibility. I don't know why. If you guys have any ideas, please make sure to put it in the chat. Why do you think, if there is no other life out there, and again, most people think there is, why would they push that? And why would they all of a sudden in the last couple of years just want to push it down our throats that we may have discoveries here? They've already had officials and people that are currently in office basically say that they have recovered parts of things from off of this planet, and the discovery will change everybody's world. So they're basically telling us that something is up. What is up? I don't know exactly, and I don't have a crystal ball, but I will say this. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. Just a little side note. I don't know if they use this picture on purpose, but doesn't that look like some sort of weird, like serpent head or something with an old man face?
I was going to say the same thing.
Isn't that
I was
weird?
hoping you saw that. And there's like a spacecraft coming in on the edge of the picture. So obviously, I don't know why they picked this one, but yeah, it's definitely trying to tell us if somebody does come, they're going to rule us, right?
And yeah, and just to show you, that's what I was looking at. It looks like a guy winking or something with the nose, the mouth, and then like a head with the neck that goes like almost like the Beetlejuice. When Beetlejuice had the 3 heads on the.
Oh, totally. Yes.
Totally. Anyways, so. All right, let's get into the real stuff now. Again, I want you guys to get cozy. Let's have fun at the same time. There's a lot going on, and our mission statement here is not to freak people out and say it's the end of the world or anything. But on the other hand, I don't think we're in kindergarten anymore, and I don't think that this is for adults, and you need to be an adult, and you should be able to handle this stuff. In fact, we shouldn't sugarcoat things for you, because that's what mainstream does. They sugarcoat what is going on around the world, or they put a slant on it. What I am showing you is many tiny pieces to a huge puzzle, and that puzzle seems like it's coming together. It says that the ship in the Red Sea, U.S. official confirms, of course, was hit by is. And, of course, this was an I ran to the store command. Now, it says that the official spoke on the condition of anonymity, said that the is had notified the United States that the forces had struck the vessel at about 7:30 a.m. So there is confirmation in basically every form that this was indeed is attacking I. And if you need any help on that, you can ask somebody. But again, we do things for a purpose here, and we do everything for a reason. Alleged footage of this said attack on that ship is surfacing, and it says that the Foreign Ministry of Armenian said on Wednesday that the Armenian vessel, the Saviz, had been targeted. Targeted in the Red Sea a day after media reports that the ship had been attacked with limpet mines. It says the explosion occurred on Tuesday morning near the Djibouti coast and caused minor damage with no casualties. The vessel was a civilian ship stationed there to secure the region against pirates. Now, if you don't know what Fantastic Freddy is, then make sure to follow my Twitter. But again, a lot of people think that, some paint could be involved, but I don't know. What is your opinion on this? Again, this is a pretty big deal as far as these are acts of conflict, right? So it is under investigation is what they're saying. So we're going to follow it each and every minute of the day. I actually broke this when it just came out. And again, we would have fixed it if it was not true, but it ended up being true. This is a big step. And then it says why NK would start a nuclear conflict. It says the Korean Peninsula remains one of the world's most dangerous hotspots with the potential for the outbreak of a truly calamitous conflict. It says much of the danger stems from military concerns among the potential combatants that leave each side with strong incentives to launch a preemptive attack. It says potentially lowering the threshold of the start of hostilities. This is particularly true for NK. It says whose conventional military inferiority in comparison to both South Korea and the United States strongly encourages such an opening maneuver. Now, one thing to think about with this is not many people have even seen Kim anywhere. His sister has been doing a lot of the talking. If you were unaware, about a year ago, I think maybe it was less than a year ago, Kim had some sort of surgery, or they said it, and afterwards there was a couple days where they legitimately said, we think he might have died. This was all over mainstream, and then they said, oh no, to correct this, he is alive, he's recovering, and it's going to be a slow recovery. Right away, his sister started speaking in public. Now, rewind a couple weeks before this surgery ever happened, and they said, hey, we haven't seen Kim for a while. Hey, Dennis Rodman, famous NBA player who is best friends with this crazy dictator, says, hey, Dennis Rodman, what do you think about all this? He goes, well, let me just say this. I can't say much because of our relationship, but if his sister steps into play and starts talking to the public, then you know there's a problem. Fast forward a couple weeks, then boom, that's actually what happened. And his sister has now been doing all of the threats. She's been doing everything. So is this society now run by the sister? We don't know. Was Kim taken out? That's the thing. They say he's alive. They say all this, and they show us videos. There's not been one video that I've seen, at least. And if you want to share one with me in fact, we have play my video on marfugelnews.com. Share a video with me if you've seen one that is convincing enough where it shows something that proves what time it is, what year it is. Again, I would love to see that because I have not. So is he alive, and is his sister worse than he is? We don't know. Was something done? Did we go in there and, did we insert a doctor that, spent 11 years undercover to do this surgery? Who knows? Again, this is all, totally undercover type stuff. Classified, we don't know. But if they were to start a conflict, it would be that way because guess what? They have no chance of winning against almost anybody. They don't have the force. They don't have anything really compared to any of the countries around them. Do you disagree with that? I would love to hear your opinion. Put it in the chat below. Speaking of the chat below, thank you everybody that is here. Thank you over on DLive, Lisa K23, early support, Alien99. We are aliens from somewhere soon. We are all alien from somewhere soon. That's a good point. If we go to Mars, we'll be aliens there, right? Lisa K23, who is old enough to remember Mr. Limpet? For some reason, I feel like I had my hands on a Mr. Limpet when I was a kid. Think before you talk. Tony 617, Bear Claws Miss Me V2. We've got Charlie 64, Scooby Doo Do Right, Vault 111, Truth Wins Miss Me. Of course, Gas Electric. Thank you for being there. And then Poppin' Cork. Thank you for just following. It looks like Conti 2005 and a few others just joined me over on DLive. Thank you. We're about to hit 35,000 followers over there. I really appreciate that. Yesterday we were at 34,009. So about 1,000 people went over there. I really do appreciate that. Thank you all for being there. Now, I'm going to hop over to the YouTube chat after this next story, but I do want to remind you, if you do want to protect yourself against an electromagnetic pulse, which is one of the big possibilities here, again, this is what the government is preparing for. You can go with the company that most of these governments are calling. EMP Shield has not only worked with DHS, DOD, but now they are officially on the DEMSO team helping protect the Texas grid. This device, whichever one you get, there's ones made for cars, one made for generators, one for your house, one for your solar system. A lot of people don't think about that. All protect against E1, E2, and E3. That's all phases of an EMP. Not only that, it can protect up to 228,000 amps, basically a huge solar flare. So we have a huge solar flare at some point. It is an eventuality. So I think that this should almost be something that comes standard. I think the government should almost say, hey, every house that's sold, just like you have to have certain guidelines that they have to go by, it has to be livable and habitable. I think they should include one of these. I don't even think people should have to purchase this, but since we're not there yet, I think people should protect themselves the same way that militaries and governments are protecting themselves. Go to marfugelnews.com/EMP. It's not only a veteran-owned business, it's 100% American-made. These were being made by hand in Kansas, and I believe now they've expanded because of all of their contracts that they have. And they are continuing to sell to us regular consumers. Again, they are doing a huge sale, $50 off on top of, $50 off from us. And on top of that, they are doing a huge sale. They can be combined. By the way, thank you. Jimmy Shively says, love to all of you more than you know. Let there be light. It just dropped a Ninjet. And I cannot say thank you enough, Jimmy Shively. I believe you are on our list 3 times for that. So thank you. That is the highest compliment you can bestow on somebody at DLive. So I really do appreciate that. Dex. So this says Russia and Ukraine on the brink of conflict. Signals coming of Messiah in 400-year-old prophecy. Now, did you see this whole thing, and what do you think about this?
Well, yeah, this is kind of interesting. I mean, obviously, we're talking about the brink of these two, but there's also a lot of other things that are happening where people are talking about the Messiah coming. There's even been some recent stuff, and we don't have it here, but that there was one named in over in Is, and so. I saw a couple of videos on that. They're floating around on the on social right now. So yeah. And
it looks like we lost you, Dex.
Oh, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you just cut out.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I was just saying, like, I've seen some of these videos that are just recently coming out of where they were saying there's a new Messiah, and that's kind of interesting. We don't have those videos because we're not going to necessarily show that right now, but you can certainly find it. And then just the fact that this is, all of these things are starting to pop off. It's a lot of dominoes are sort of falling in order, so to speak, right?
Yes, absolutely. And by the way, if you guys can, James42 says this is all planned saber rattling, as planned by the last T-Man admit. Again, I love hearing all the different theories on this again. One other thing too, can you guys let me know? We couldn't figure it out before the show if it's never happened before. If Dex cuts out, will you? You don't have to overly let us, if 50 people are saying it, then let us know. But please let us know if it's cutting out on your end or if it's something internal. That would help us a lot. Gigi Loves G's says, Lisa, LOL. Mason Hunt, initiate me, and I refuse. Only did 11 of 13 initiation rituals, says Mosiak Michael Daniel. That's crazy. So you almost joined the society, huh? That is nuts. And 13. There's 13 rituals? That's even creepier. Okay, good. So it did cut out. Okay, I'm glad that everybody... Okay, I'm hearing him cut out. Thank you, guys. I do appreciate that. We'll try to have that fixed today. And then Bear Claws, you got it. Thank you. Thomas, thank you so much. Thomas Harder says, hey, guys. I appreciate everybody that's here. Jacob Israel shouted me out for letting him know about the video with the so-called Messiah News. Countryside Living, he is a great guy. If you guys have not checked him out, for all of you new people here, go over and check up Jacob Israel. If you like how the signs have played out, he is a really smart man. He has an incredible history. He has worked with everybody. I mean, he's been next to the president. The guy has many connections. He used to be in the top levels of Christian broadcasting, and through that job, again, he left it because it got so, just corny, right? There was a point where it was really good, and then at the very end, they started kind of selling out all these networks because different people bought them, and as they bought them, a lot of the tried and true people left. That's when you saw the people with 10-foot hair and all of that kind of take over, and they did a lot more of that instead of the content that they really liked doing. So make sure to check out Jacob Israel. He knows everybody. The guy has he's very connected and he knows his stuff. So make sure to check him out, Jacob Israel. And then we have U.S. military cites rising risk of Chinese moves against Taiwan. Again, this is all in front of us. This is 100%. There's no time that we've seen so many different areas moving like this. There are so many pieces of this puzzle that are all clicking into place that it is really hard for somebody even that says, fear-mongering, to say, how do you deny everything that is happening right now? The Arctic, the Russian border, NK, the missile tests, the drills that we are doing on our side in Europe, Europeans command being at the highest alert ever, us hardening, solar winds that have happened over the last year, solar winds hack that affected all 5 military branches, affected the Pentagon, affected every company you can think of. You have Microsoft and all of these different companies that have been hacked. You're talking about, of course, China in the South China Sea, making the Spratly Islands. This is a long-term game. Everybody goes, they've been saying that forever. Yeah, because they could see the beginning of the plan when they started making the Spratlys, and now they are not only finishing it, now they're putting their civilian ships with military on them and putting 200 ship brigades out there. They're amassing. It says that the American military is warning that China is probably accelerating its timetable. Now, again, there was actually 2 here. There is more. Again, this is not only from the Associated Press. This is also from Business Insider. It says the U.S. military is worried that China may be speeding up its plans to attack Taiwan. We said this before anybody was talking about this, and that's because we had good military in our group. That's why it is so important that you guys participate. Email us, let us know what's going on. Ray W says, we're stocked up. Thank you. Exactly. This is the thing. You don't have to sell your house and go live out in the woods. But I think everybody should be paying attention. Everybody should be paying attention to every step of this. If you don't like this kind of content, it is so easy not to watch. Watch The Bachelorette. Watch Survivor or something. It's so easy to spend your time not worrying about this. But if you do want to look at this, and this is what you actually look at in your spare time, this is the place. WW3, boys, get your ammo up. That's Anthony Castro, yes. And then V Night in Vinci, thank you, Adam and Dex. Thank you for the Ninjagini over there, and thank you. It looks like somebody who just went over to DLive. So this again cites this risk. It says the worry about Taiwan comes as China wields new strength from years of military buildup. It has become more aggressive with Taiwan and more assertive in sovereignty disputes in the South China Sea. Beijing has also become more confrontational with Washington. Senior Chinese officials traded sharp and unusually public barbs with Secretary of State Antony Blinken in talks in Alaska last month. It says that the military move against Taiwan, however, would be a test of U.S. support for the island that Beijing views as a breakaway province. So will this be like Hong Kong, where we just kind of step back and not support, or step back and say, okay, well, you guys got to deal with it? That's the thing. Taiwan is a huge asset. This is an extremely important area. If they do let just them take Taiwan and they go, hey, your Taiwan's yours now, not only will they be defeating a government that does not want to be a part of China, but they will also be gaining an asset. They will also be proving to me that we have people on the inside here that are allowing that to happen. Because this isn't like Hong Kong where they already had an agreement to switch over. This is Taiwan. So, Dex, do you disagree or agree with me on this one? Again, what's your view?
Oh no, I totally agree, and to me, it is their next stop, right? Taiwan is the next step in their plan.
I mean, so. Oh, Jacob Israel's here. Thank you. Hold on, I'll get to all of you guys. Yeah, no, this is a step, and this is the step in the wrong direction. And again, if we let this happen, what do you think about how they would do that? How would they do that? All those people living there. Look at the protests that happened in Hong Kong before they got basically, ingrained in mainland. The thing is that we could just let them keep taking places because, hey, nobody wants a nuclear conflict. Nobody wants thousands of drones and crazy military battles. They have a bigger navy than ours. It would definitely be a fight. But how far do you let them go? How far do you let them step over? And at the same time, are they going to say, hey, me and Russia are kicking it, so you're going to let them take Ukraine too? Is there some backdoor deals? Is this all for show? Who knows? Lyle Neep, thank you so much for your support. Ringin Constitutional, stacked high and deep thanks to you. Thank you, Ringin, and I appreciate that. And I'm glad that you guys are. Ganji Seed Bank, thank you again for watching. You can always write a message there. Jacob Israel says, grateful for your wisdom, brother. Thanks for always trying to help me and everyone here. God bless you and yours. Jacob, you don't have to support in that way. If you do $1, that's just to do a super chat. That's fine too. Thank you so much. I am his. Thank you so much for your support. Dorothy Wright, I appreciate you. I appreciate you more than you know. Thank you for being here. A long time now. RA55, nice. I just saw a video of yours pop up on my recommendations, which is great. That's exactly what we want. I think you're closing in on, are you past 10,000 yet? You should be. Sparky's Run, big love, arms around the world. Thank you, Marv and Dex. Thank you for being the last one out, Sparky's Run. I really do appreciate that last night. Just all sorts of things popping off at the same time. And again, do we allow this to happen? Should people be vocal about this? Should people be out in the streets on the corners with signs saying, don't let them take Taiwan? I bet it's already happening. And again, this is a good point that we've made before. That this accumulation of concerns meshes with the administration's view that China is the frontline challenge for the United States, and that more must be done soon. What's funny is on one side of the aisle, they were not really worried about it. The other side of the aisle was doing the China task force and saying this is our biggest threat. Europe is saying that this is our biggest threat. Theresa May, when she was in charge, said we are absolutely switching all of our money from T cells and Islam, all of that. They were switching it from that to Russia and China. So they were saying it's not about Mr. Al-Qaeda. It's not about those guys anymore. It's now about Russia and China. And this was one of my first shows that I did. A lot of people realize I have not changed my tone on this since I started. I have not flip-flopped as far as this. I think this is a long game, and we've seen every piece of the puzzle. And if you go back through my old videos, every step has been filled out. This is a world conflict. This isn't just a little tiny, this isn't a tiny conflict. This is something that takes years, if not decades, of planning. So, what do you think? U.S. Navy sends warship near Taiwan as China sends 15 more warplanes. It says on Wednesday, USS John S. McCain, Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer sailed through the Taiwan Strait between the Chinese mainland and the island of Taiwan, amid China flying 15 warplanes around Taiwan in an ongoing pressure campaign against the island. It says that the U.S. 7th Fleet, whose area of operations includes the Western Pacific and parts of the Indian Ocean, said that the ship's transit through the Taiwan Strait demonstrates the U.S. commitment to a free and open Indo-Pacific. So I don't know how that shows their commitment because they haven't actually blocked them yet. I'm waiting to see if we actually stick up for Taiwan. Because that would be one of the scenarios where we go, oh, well, look at what happened. Yeah, if we let them take Taiwan, then yeah, there won't be a conflict. But we'll also be giving away one of the most strategic assets. Huawei would all of a sudden be a thing again. That was basically had the rug pulled out from under them. They were competing with Samsung and Apple. They had billions of dollars coming in from their phones. And again, they were, had the carpet ripped out from under them. They couldn't use American companies. The biggest phone manufacturer in the world next to these other brands could not use Taiwan's made chips, the only place that makes those chips and capacitors, which, by the way, that would also hold power over the U.S., but they also could not access all of the other stuff in Taiwan, all of the resources that only are in Taiwan. On top of that, they couldn't use, maps and Gmail and all this kind of stuff. They couldn't use any of it in their phones. Who would want to buy a brand new phone with a crappy processor and none of the features that even the cheapest smartphone here has? $100 touch screen or $50 touch screen has the stuff, and you couldn't even make that with your $800 flagship phone. It screwed them. They, in fact, used the rest of the chips that they had stockpiled, and then after that, they had to figure something out. And I believe we're seeing kind of the results of that. Because it's more than just a cell phone company, it's the Chinese government. And we just ripped billions of dollars out of their pockets.
And we have a chip shortage now, just across the board. Right?
Even in car manufacturing.
Makes the problem even bigger.
Yeah, the car manufacturers can't find these chips for everything. Now cars are made with so many of these things. Every car has this stuff now. So they're looking at, and this goes across so many different electronics. These capacitors are, what are they called, Dex? They're called... the
microprocessors?
The microprocessors. Everything uses this. I mean, we're talking about so many different devices. We're not even thinking about some of the ones that they use.
Modern cars have about 150 microprocessors in them.
Is that insane? I mean, you're talking about a microprocessor just for your power seatbelt that might go back, or a microprocessor for your power seats. There's 150 of them. That's insane. And they all come from Taiwan. Think about the power you would hold if you had that. One question, though, why is Russia so hard up for Ukraine? What resources comes from Ukraine? We need to research what, besides the whole fact that they say that it should be a part of Russia, maybe is it just that? Is it about that? Or is there some sort of resource in Ukraine that we're not talking about? That's what we should probably figure out. Because all of it's going on at the same time. And then we have, why does China's Air Force keep coming so close to Taiwan? Taiwan's defense ministry has reported new incursion by China's Air Force, the latest in Beijing's increasingly bold pattern of encroachment into Taiwanese airspace. Taiwanese officials stated on Monday that 4 J-16 and 4 J-10 multi-role fighter jets and a Y-8 anti-submarine aircraft and a KJ-500 early warning and control plane entered Taiwan's air defense. Now, what does that sound like? That sounds like a strike group. That sounds like everything you would need to kind of go along with an invasion. It says entered Taiwan's air defense identification, or an ADIZ, and it says the Y-8 reportedly flew through the Bashi Channel connecting the Pacific to the South China Sea, so right where they weren't supposed to go. Well, the others traveled in airspace southwest of Taiwan. Taiwan scrambled planes to warn the Chinese aircraft away. According to the defense ministry, this incident is the latest in a procession of increasingly ambitious Chinese incursions. So the last few have been record-breaking, where there was 20 jets, boomers, submarines, everything, whole teams. They're doing dry runs. If I'm wrong, it will prove wrong very soon. There has to be something massive, whether that be them say, hey, we're going to let them have Taiwan, it's not worth a world conflict, or they say we can't let them have Taiwan because later down the road it will be even a worse conflict because they will have assets that we need. Preparation Station says, feel free to use anything from my videos for the Prepper Minutes. Thank you, Adam, Dex, Mrs. and Mods, and Fugelfam. Preparation Station, if you want to be a part of it, please do so. We already have about 8 or 10 videos, Survival Living and Bones, and different people have been doing them. Thank you so much. And I was actually, today or tomorrow, I was going to do the intro for them to put them on. They're basically short minutes, though. We're actually having them specifically made for the channel. And then it's a great thing because you guys will get, we will have good tips for our viewers, and then you will get good exposure for your channel. Again, great thing there. If you want to be a part of it, let us know. Email us. Email me at adam@marfugelnews.com or email Dex at dex@marfugelnews.com. Loyal to the Foil says Russia is getting taxed on the gas they ship through Ukraine. Okay, correct. They want Nord Stream pipe into Germany. Also, thanks for hosting my 1-foot N5D Space Force news a few weeks ago on your DLive. Oh, no problem. Of course. We always try to find somebody new to do. Cameron Ward says, everyone keep an eye out for suspicious characters and where they are. Where are all the big elite actors hiding? No press at all. Cameron Ward, I actually was just talking about that with my wife today. It's very creepy. Where are all these bigwigs? Where is everybody right now? The Globalist channel says police asking Supreme Court to take people's arms via warrantless searches to enter homes for community care. Cagnia versus Strom hearing was today. Globalist channel, I would love an update on that. That would be great. Sounds like it is an incredibly important trial, and I apologize for not knowing about it. Jay Thomas says Ukraine UA is wanted for the soil. It's the breadbasket needed for the grand solar minimum. Very crazy stuff. And then going into the ADIZ, tons of big stuff popping off, of course. What do you think about this? I'm going to go over, again, we're probably going to be doing another vote here on the community post. So remember to check the community posts that come from this channel. We just did a vote. We'll try to pop that up. In fact, Dex, can we look at that vote that we took on cloning? That was a couple shows back, and we actually did a vote on the community post on TV. I don't know if that's something that we can link, or I would have to pull up.
Yeah, let me find it, and I'll put it in screener.
Okay. In the meantime, if you want to help support us and protect yourself against cyber criminals, right now, cyber crime is higher than it has ever been in history. In fact, right now, there are several groups that are going after little guys and just regular Joes, basically with all sorts of powers. You can get a virtual private network that actually hides your IP address and protects you. You can just go to marfugelnews.com/VPN to go to NordVPN, one of the best out there. You can use the special code Marfugel to get upwards of 70% off. Again, right now they're actually doing, I think, 2 years and get one free. And then, by the way, this is another use for this. I don't say this as much, but again, if you are in a country, I didn't realize this, a lot of you guys that are watching are blocked from certain websites. Amazon, YouTube, again, if you're watching me on YouTube, then you already have one. Amazon, YouTube, Netflix, all sorts of different sites that are actually blocked in some countries. Apparently, a lot of people get the VPNs like Nord, and then they will put themselves somewhere else so they can access those very essential websites that all of us use. Even Google. You can't get Google, or even DuckDuckGo is blocked. So if you do want to get some other places, you can even get different movies on Netflix. If you want to put yourself in Europe and watch a European show like, the Doctor Who that's not over here, again, not on our Netflix, then go ahead and do that. All right, and then Dex will pull that up, and then, of course, Taiwan.
Yeah, we got it.
Taiwan says may shoot down Chinese drones in South China Sea. So you guys can go over to this. Again, this is just a small update, and this is exactly what we said. We actually talked about this very specific scenario where Taiwan said that it would probably shoot it down. It says Taiwan has spotted Chinese drones circling the Taipei-controlled Pratas Island in the South China Sea and may shoot them down if they stray too close. A government minister said on Wednesday, a move that dramatically increased tensions with Beijing. So on top of the planes, on top of all the dry runs, they have these drones. And sorry, but they admit that these are their drones, but we had this current scenario that we've just been talking about even up as late as last night about this scenario where these drones were floating outside of a U.S. destroyer. The Chinese have these drones, and they're flying and observing everybody. This is the technology that they developed for their cities, and very soon China is going to be full of these, like the video game Watchdog Legion. That's a very scary video game because it is realistic. It is the future. It is the future of having news and security cams flying around all of our streets. That game, if you haven't seen it, go look at some of the trailers of it. It's basically set in a future London. And it's very scary because it's an extremely realistic London with extremely realistic drones flying around in it. And that is our future. They've already cleared the airspace, FAA, and everything else is all set up for us to have drones watching us. This isn't a future movie. This is life now. It says, speaking at Parliament, Lee Chung-wei, who heads the Ocean Affairs Council, under those purview, the Coast Guard Falls, said that they had recently spotted Chinese drones circling the Pratas, though they have not flown over the islands. It says, quote, they have never entered our restricted waters and airspace. They've just flown around them at a certain distance. So it's almost like they've got a DJI and they're setting a dot and doing these little circles around it, right? This is scary. I don't like the fact that they're using these drones everywhere, and they have multiple hour batteries. They can send these things off for 10 hours. Who knows? They might. And one thing I'm thinking of is, where are these drones coming from? They're not coming all the way from China. They're probably coming from an aircraft carrier or something. Again, people don't realize they can hide. They can get ships in with Harbor, right? With Pearl. They could not find back then. Even now, with our new technology, you won't see something coming until last minute if they do it the right way. And then
I'm also thinking these are probably some of the winged versions too. The much bigger ones, like we have, like the
like Predator,
the ones we fly, Predator and things like that, because they can get some distance on those.
Yeah, those can actually go. I want to say I heard that you could fly it from one end of the United States to the other on a single kind of charge, because it's glider. It's very easy to do. But the heavy, more weaponized ones are pretty heavy. But again, how those things work is pretty amazing. Again, they have movies that kind of show us the future, and it's not even crazy anymore. The movie with Nicolas Cage, I want to say it was like, if anybody remembers that movie where Nicolas Cage starts out the movie driving down this kind of desert Nevada road, and then a Predator drone flies where it's looking at him in the driver's seat, and outside of his window, a Predator flies about 10 feet off the ground and identifies his car. Does anybody remember what movie that was? And in the plot line was basically that part of the United States had been blown up by a nuke and it was radioactive, so nobody was allowed to go there. And what the freakiest part about that movie was, is that, and I'm going to spoil it because it's such a horrible movie. If you're going to see it, you'll be seeing it for Nicolas Cage anyways. But at the end, they realize that it's not actually radioactive and it's just this wall, and people fear going out of it, so they stay in their little areas. That movie has a lot of like Agenda, 30 kind of stuff in there. It's actually, it surprised me. It's so bad acting, but it's so bad acting that you want to see it, and the plot is actually pretty interesting. V Knight and C, thank you so much again. I appreciate that. Queen BTP, just love your channel. You and Dex rock. I appreciate all y'all do to keep me informed. Thank you. And then of course, Lady Mel, Scooby Doo Do Right, everybody over on D Live, thank you so much. I appreciate your support, and cannot say enough thank you to you guys. Have not seen it. Let's see here. Humanity Bureau. Oh my gosh, what a freaking horrible movie, but it was so bad. Somebody said, Joshua Hathaway says all of his acting is so bad. He is so bad. I watch all of his movies. I can't stop. He's so horrible. He's the same guy no matter what he's doing. The worst movies, though, is when he's like the guy who is like, trying to be a dad or something. The dad movies are the worst. It creeps me out, actually. Like him with, taking a 6-year-old girl under his wing. And I just think of Nicolas Cage with any 6-year-old, and it just... but it's so bad, it's good. It's just horrible. But I love him. Yes, Lenise Dennett, I can't get enough of the Cage. He's so bad. He's so bad. He's the only actor that is just so horrible that you're like, I gotta see this. This is just so bad. Yuck. Yuck, says Lynn. Maggie B. Moonstruck. No, but Humanity Bureau was a good one, and that's exactly what it was. It was a bureau saying, if you were a human, they would do that. I loved him in Family Man. Yes, he's got some good movies. White Man Can't Jump. I thought that was pretty good. Very true title. And then we have some of the crazy social media stuff going on here. Facebook user data leak included Mark's personal data. Now, this is insanity that he actually did this. Before I get into this, I am going to switch over to this, though, real quick. We have some more updates on this. And just to show you, this, in case you didn't see our other video, one of our new Foogles, and I want to say specific thank you, Samantha, thank you, and Samantha's coworker who introduced her to the channel. I really do appreciate that. I won't say anything more than that, but one thing we did get a heads up on is this article basically shouting out about these contracts, and that's pretty crazy considering this contract. Let's see here, pull it up. Is for 200 of these vehicles for the Arctic. This is, a direct response and an immediate one. So some of the other information that I don't want to say, but basically says that this is something that they need now, that just popped up out of nowhere. And then it just came out. I mean, it's like the second it happened, and even the people that make these things found out about it, boom, the news pops out about it. So this is brand new. Again, it says National Advanced Mobility Consortium selects Oshkosh Defense to produce new cold weather all-terrain vehicle prototype. These things are made for the Arctic. Again, if you have more information on this, or if you know kind of the ins and outs of these things, what kind of battle would this be? Or would this just be purely to bring people in? This is one of the Broncos that they build. Let's see here if I can see the picture of it. Let's see. This is it. So this just happened. They've ordered 200 of these. Why would they do that? Don't know, but I also know that the Russian military, all of a sudden over the last month, has stacked the Arctic with an absolute just crazy ton of military gear, on top of loading up the borders and Ukraine shipping tanks, everything. Okay, and then this was covered on our Marfugel News video. Make sure to go check that out. We updated last night's ship getting hit. Let's see here. This is the FAA notice, and this basically comes out and tells us 100% without a shadow of a doubt that we were right, that they have tanks, they have everything, anti-air, everything is lined up. It's not just some rumors. FAA, for situational awareness, put this out and basically said, here's why there's no fly zones, and here is what is going on. And this, they very much clarified, hey, this has already happened, and last time it happened, somebody got shot down from going through on accident. This is why we're doing it. This is what is going down on the ground, and this is why we're doing it. This is a federal aviation. We have the links for all of this on our website. The source for all of this documentation is on our website, so you know that this is real. Federal Aviation Administration puts out, it says, during the past week, Russia has deployed additional military forces and equipment to the Crimean Peninsula and along its border with Ukraine. The deployments include tanks, armored vehicles, artillery, and air defense assets. Reports indicate a large presence of ground convoys and military aircraft. It says since the occupation has attempted annexation of Crimea in 2014, Russia has significantly expanded its military presence in the region with air, naval, and ground-based weapon systems, including advanced long-range surface-to-air missiles, or SAM batteries. So these are defense systems that can get a plane from very far away. That's why the FAA is involved, and they're saying, hey, these things have accidentally shot us down. That's why we are not sending regular planes over these certain areas. It says concurrently, the Organization of Security of Cooperation in Europe's Special Monitoring Mission to Ukraine reported a recent increase of ceasefire violations. So actual actions. There's a ceasefire and they're screwing up on it. And it says, which consisted of primarily of ground-based activity associated with Russian-controlled violations, which, again, happened all in the last week. It says, eastern Ukraine. Additionally, Ukraine's Ministry of Defense announced the perishing of 4 Ukrainian soldiers by artillery strikes near Donetsk. And Donetsk is where they are loading up the military equipment. This is where they're putting all of their power. This was April 2nd, 2021. 5 days ago. So these things slowly trickle out, and then we understand that this is. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so I just put a link. Pull this one up. It's an article to a 2S4. It's one of the artillery type vehicles that is being reported that they're using over there. The interesting thing about this particular device is if you scroll down on that link, let me find it here. It's about halfway down, right after the third paragraph after the description. It talks about the nuclear capability of that device. So it's like a mortar, but it can also send warheads and potentially other munitions like chemical and other things like that, as well as nuke.
And this is what they're loading up, right?
Allegedly, that's being reported. They're seeing those on the border now.
Wow. Yes. Okay, just to zoom in on this, it says, one of the more unique aspects of the 2S4 is their nuclear capability. Development of a tactical nuclear munitions for the type was initiated relatively late in the service cycle of the vehicle in 1967. It says it resulted in the 3BW4 round using a 3B nuclear projectile with a yield of approximately 2 kilotons. This was improved on 3 years later with the development of a rocket-assisted 3WB11 nuclear round. Again, so now it is even better. Now it's been upgraded now 6 times, and it is so powerful and so very specific that it can knock out whole front lines. And this is what is going on the borders. So people can keep saying
and they have
we're
410. Asleep. They have 410 of them in storage, 10 in active service. And I'm assuming since we've seen all of these move in that they've been pulling a lot of those out of storage.
This is, I mean, it's pretty clear what's going on here, and I don't know why people are still denying it. All right. All of this is going to be available on the website. Dex, will you add that to the website so people can read about this weapon? Thank you so much. And then Jay Thomas, again, thank you. Free Life Task says Russia wants Ukraine because of the most fertile ground. Thank you. From Australia, this is Free Life Task. Says they know we are coming into the grand minimum and they will need it to feed their people. Thanks to what you and Dex are doing. Thank you, Free Life. I really do appreciate that. And thank you again from Australia, Free Life. And then Open House Texas says, feels like a setup. I feel like they're working with a C. The B admin said that they're going to put caps on gas and oil to push electric car manufacturing. Saying working with those guys. Open House Texas, I don't know, but we're certainly going to probably find out here soon. And then Ganji Seed Bank, thank you. And I noticed you put a message this time. Says, thank you, Marf and Dex. Ganji Seed Bank, thank you so much. Every time I see your name, I think of the Norwegian Ark. They have a bunker with every seed imaginable in Norway, I believe. Or was it Sweden? Dex, you can correct me if I'm totally off. Was it Sweden that had the seed ark, or was it Norway? Either way.
I thought it was Norway, but I could be wrong.
I want to say Norway too. And then we've got Mountain Bluebird. Thank you. It says, was it Nicolas Cage or Nicholas Overflow Facility? Oh my gosh, that was a really bad joke, I think. Was it Nicolas Cage or Nicholas Overflow Facility? That was so bad. Are you Ilea hiding as somebody else? Ilea does jokes like that. By the way, Ilea, if you were watching, love you. Hope you're having a good day. Madam Antebellum says, taking vacation has allowed me to be with you. I am a follower for 4 months. Love, love, love you. Best news ever. Madam Antebellum, I've read your name, and the first time I read your name, I remembered it. So thank you, and it's lovely to have you for 4 months, and love you to have you for 1 day. So thank you so much. I'm glad you have some time off. Speaking of really amazing people, by the way, I just want to shout out a few people that go above and beyond, and they actually support us during the show on PayPal. Again, thank you. Of course, they do not take 50% like the other guys, so thank you. Gone Girl, thank you. Says, hello, Adam and Dex. I'm still here. Love you all. Gone Girl, we're all praying for you, and you don't have to do any of that, and thank you so much. And either way, like I said, every show you get a shout out regardless if you're here. Carl J. Vision May 2nd. Vision May 22nd. In same vision, a new map of America, 2 capitals, red in the streets, and ended an angel saying, "Yellow, yellow, prepare." Just as trumpet sounded me to wake. My opinion, every American life needs to be warned or be lost. I feel like this was a similar email that I got. I don't know if that was you, Carl J. I felt like it was a female writer that wrote that kind of same thing. Kelly B says, love you, Adam, Dex, and mods. Thank you. And then Woodsmere, don't be the last to panic. Woodsmere, don't be the last to panic. That's funny. And that's like a private, hey, don't be the last to panic. Well, thank you and everybody that has gone above and beyond over there. I really do appreciate it. We are trying to expand and bring on more people, so it is very much appreciated. Okay, and Dex, Brazil. Do you have so this is, I'm not going to read this. You guys can read, I'm sure, most of you.
The only thing that caught me was the first sentence. And you'd have to, censor it a little bit, but the comparison to that major event that happened in Japan.
Super mutations, spawning super mutations every week that could destroy world's fight against plague. Do you want to?
No. So it says.
Okay. Never mind.
Fuka.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So it says Brazil's brutal CV plague has been branded a, quote, biological Fukushima. So saying it's like a nuclear plant that's about to blow, right? By worried scientists after daily deaths surged past the 4,000 mark. What do you guys think about this? It says it's the largest human tragedy in Brazilian history. He told the BBC that we may get upwards of 500,000 deaths by July 1st. That's the latest estimate. By July 1st, that's a couple months away. So are they saying that basically they have more deaths than anywhere else in the world? Why? And then the University of Washington released another estimate suggesting if the rate of transmission goes up by about 10%, we could get to 600,000. It says it's a nuclear reactor that has set off a chain reaction and it is out of control. It's a biological Fukushima. What do you think about that? Are you scared about that? Is that the purpose of this? I don't know. I would say that if that's the case, then why aren't they like doing anything about it? Why is this the only thing we're hearing about it? That's weird. It's super weird. Monograph Live says, have a cigar. And by the way, Dex is a cigar smoker. I can always tell if he's on the phone, it's like... Monograph Live, it's super nice to have you here again. It's always nice to have I don't know if you are Monograph, but thank you so much for stopping by. Or if I know that there's, people with my name kind of spicked around there. But thank you so much for stopping by, and thank you for the support. I do appreciate that. Dex, are you there, or did it cut out?
Oh, no, I'm here.
Okay. I didn't know. In the beginning, we had some issues. It seems like it resolved itself. Do you have anything to say about this other than what is this for?
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was really, the rhetoric around it. I mean, certainly this whole notion about, all these mutations and being a super, area of that, is could be alarming. But they certainly are, spinning it up in this article. So yeah. Unfortunately for the people
so
there
bad?
that are suffering, prayers for them, right?
Why so bad in Brazil? Why is it so bad? That's what I want to know. What is it's not there's parts that are rough, but it's not like it's like shacks and shanties, right? I'm guessing maybe there's parts that are, but
Wasn't that our ally and entry point when we were dealing with Venezuela?
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, because when Russia put nuclear-capable Tu-32s half an hour away from Florida, if they launched from Venezuela at Mach 2, they could get there in 30 minutes. Brazil was going to be our ally and have them there. I just wonder, because remember the stats that we actually got from the W, H, and to the O. Do you remember the stats that said that basically all of the allies would be wiped out? Or I'm sorry, all of the allies would do significantly better than the adversaries. And allies by, U.S., Europe, all of them. Super weird stuff. All right. Everything is so crazy right now. Didn't know they take 50%. I'll be trying to figure out PayPal. Oh, don't worry about it, Jimmy Shively. Actually, DLive does not. YouTube does. I didn't want to say their name. Actually, DLive is much better. But either way, you don't have to do anything, Jimmy. And anyways, those are at... we've always liked DLive as far as... They actually used to be even crazier. They only used to take like 8% or something. Now they take a little bit more, but they are actually much better than, the big guys. Nick, 52182, says, thank you so much for keeping us all informed. Skee Ball, hello again from Pennsylvania, the state where a wolf cannot hide. Ski Ball, thank you so much. And Kelly2334, thank you for massive support tonight. Stiletti, Mama of Six, Warrior Gal, and then, of course, V. Knight and Vinci. I appreciate you. And looks like Lynn RC is here tonight. Miss Me, thank you. Chewy Weather, Queen BTP, thanks for your massive support, guys. Hexagonal Peach, Mystery Rose. How are you all doing? And it looks like we have Jammer1, Item 09, Zippy Moons, Fun Size Cam, Robert Wilson, CK, Island by the Sea, Donald Pauly, Don Koslov, Bones, Marty Mart. Hopefully we have Lisa R. Hall. I don't know if you're here tonight. Thank you so much. Pam Ben, J Stone, LCJC family is in the house. Watchwoman, Enrique Alvardo, Jeff M. How are you doing, Jeff? NPR reports 25% won't get the V. Of course, they are critical that herd immunity won't happen with 75%. Okay, look at this. Cambio. Dex, Cambio says, I am in Brazil, and I don't know about this. Isn't that crazy?
That is.
They're in Brazil, and they don't know about this. That doesn't
surprise me at all with the way the media runs with these headlines.
That's why you need to get a VPN and go to other countries' news. That's what we do on a daily basis. We go other places, and when you'll find, so like Europe gets different news than the U.S. We get filters. Everything is filtered now. That's why we collect so many different places.
I was just reading the iCountries news today, and it's just so like we're in love with China.
Yep, and they say that basically we're buddied. Brazilian news is actually pretty good in some senses. Cambio, what is your favorite Brazilian news company? Australia, of course, has some really good ones too. Deagle Report, what is going on? Says Mike Albert. WW3 within a month, says Billy Joe. So, you know, why? By the way, we covered that last night. The caller that called in last night talked about Hal Turner saying stuff like that. Again, we just didn't. That is a huge claim. I'm surprised that he even does that because, you know, if you make a claim like that and it doesn't come true, then that's, I don't know. Usually I don't think he does that, you know, crazy of a claim. So I wonder what his sources are on that. I wouldn't be surprised if anything happened, to be honest, but that's just me. Dex, is there anything else that you want to add to this?
Well, as long as we're prepared, and if you've been prepared, then you'll be just fine. And if you're not, now's the time to make sure you get all your preps up. And if you're, you know, prepared to be self-sufficient and not rely on the government to take care of you when something does go wrong, no matter what it is, natural or, you know, man-made, you're going to be just fine.
Exactly. Kelly2334, thank you for 2 more Ninja Guineas. By the way, over on D Live tonight, we have had Jimmy in the #1 spot. Thank you so much, Jimmy. Shively, you are getting a song tonight. V Night VNC. Oh my gosh, I know. I think I know who you are now. Okay, that is awesome. Thanks you for watching. I think you have a channel, do you not? And then we have Kelly2334 in the 3 spot, Everdays in 4, Lisa K23 in 5. And actually, Gone Girl is technically #1 in PayPal, so thank you. And then Doc Bill, appreciate it, says India researchers have discovered a new variant with 2 new mutations, which may be better at evading the immune system. We will probably be covering that tomorrow if that came out today. And then thank you everybody over there, especially Free Life Task. Thank you for the massive support there. May, thank you yesterday for massive support. Jacob Israel is actually our #1 over on YouTube. Thank you, and thank you. You know you didn't have to do that if you are still watching. I appreciate it. But again, if I genuinely hope that everybody does go over and check him out. He is the same on and off camera. He'll call and ask how my kids are. He doesn't call and say, hey, how do I do this? With, you know, he doesn't say, you know, can you shout me out or something like that. He calls and asks how my kids are. And then calls, if I've said something about my health, he'll call and you know, say that he's praying for me. That's the kind of guy he is. So make sure to go check him out. Thank you, everybody. I love all of you guys. Tomorrow we will have calls again. It's pretty much been every other day because we have had so much backlog on crazy news right now. So, Dex, thank you so much for all of your help today.
Great show, brother. Much love.
All right, now it is officially time for the shoutro. It's not an outro. It's not a shout-out. It's a shoutro. It's where I say thank you to the people that matter most, you. It's usually where I just say your silly names and usually make a silly song of satisfaction for the world. And I do a little scratch beat. Just kidding. That's not the beat. But I usually make the music and say your guys' names, and it's my way of doing the credits because you guys are the credits. And if you don't want to stick around, don't have to. Dex, how much time do we have left? We will be switching over to D-Live only after a few minutes here.
Yeah, like we'll go 5 minutes, and then the after party will stay on D-Live.
Yep. So if you do want to join us afterwards for the shoutro, we'll be over on D-Live.
Was funky with the dark bill monograph live Mudim antebellum in the ride. Mountain Bluebird, everybody know. Ganja Seed Bank, open house, Texas free life. And the J. Thomas and Globalist. All the preparation station know this. Always about to go funky, going right back like a shooting on a monkey. Lobbies on the candle, preparation station, oil to the foil, bringing on the Haitian. Haitian, bringing on the making. Maybe Ganja Seed, they Jamaican. Bringing constitutional line, bring it right back in the BBG. On the iron biz and that dirty right. RH55, Sparkies run right. May detect a profit. WJ315, a pop it. Jacob is real and I am his. I went down like this is his. I look for the man above, and he looks down on me. Got the Cheryl Dupee and Michael Maché, bring it down like a queen's feet. Big one the Fuga, bring your thoughts where I had a trumpet dream. No best is bad still come. Island by the sea, I know we don't king. And a man with no crown, got it, but I not gonna bring it all down. I'm that guy, says Russia deployed nukes to show NATO. Very creepy stuff. Lots of crazy stuff going on. I love the Biga, I love the Andrew. Oh no, Marino. I bring you down. I'm a arena, my fruits go. I'm the guy going by, right tonight. Stewie says, MRSA skipped class tonight. Alright, let's see. Jimmy Shively just gifted another sub. Jimmy, thank you so much. You know you don't have to go extreme. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you so much. VNC. Keep creating. Kelly2334. Ever Days. Lisa K23. Gone Girl 777. Susan Donahue. Veteran Steve. End Times. Amy R. Tower Bear. Kelly2334. End Times on the top 5 all time. Susan Donahue, our top YouTube supporter. Thank you. Got the Cameron word, always more. Cameron word, always more. Cameron word, always more. Cameron word, always more. The Cameron word, always more. Cameron word, always more. Cameron word, always more. Cameron word, always more. The Cameron word, always more. Cameron word, always more. Bring it on the same. Day now, R55 dirty white and I am his now. Bring it with the chat now, bring it on the tag now. Oh now, everybody really want a cat now. Cameron word, always more. Cameron word, always more. I bring it on with the white knife. We're gonna use a Roger guard wash on the fight. Boom shakalaka, homestead in Heartland. Send your motors and everybody farther. Hey, Van Gogh VD4, Robbie, not La Pow in the Van Gogh VD4 now. Leo Walls, James 42 in the Honeybee. Bring it right back, crotch on a lady. Crotch at a party, I bring it on the sea now. Graphologically, a free I see now. I see a lot of new names. Thank you for joining us. Honeybee, I appreciate you. I love beagles. Miss Jammer, thank you. Long time. Lisa R. Hall. Amy V. R. Formerly AZZR. Wow, is that... I don't know if that's you, Amy R., but thank you. Leo Walls, Wayne, 3737. We have got Auntie. C. Hep. Haha, I just got that one. Says, please pray for human trafficking victims. Let's see here. Oh, thank you, Honeybee. I appreciate that. Thank you. It's always really nice to have people say it back, I guess. Thank you. What time did you do the show start? About an hour and 30 minutes ago. Sunny Beach girl, no, we'll not shoot it down. Everybody wanna go beat blow. Amy, thank you. I'm glad that you clarified. Shane Mars. Whoa, David Carter. Matt Francis. Miss Charlie 64. The Witness.